thanks for the time. Let's go back to the regional and those two games. Obviously, that first game, you probably didn't start the way you wanted to, as you found yourself down 17-0 pretty early in that game. But that's the second time in a row now that you guys got off to a little bit of a slow start. What happened there at the beginning of that game? What did you tell the guys, and how did you get it turned around to go into that regional championship?
Well, I think obviously you got to make shots. Excuse me. When you don't make shots, it makes it really tough. And our guys, I think we were ready. But like the Central game, we came out, we just couldn't get anything to go. And, I certainly thought New Albany had an unbelievable defense. They did a great job. But what we told our guys was exactly what you said. We've been here before. We've got to keep our composure, and we just got to keep playing. There's a lot of basketball left. And we're going to have runs. We're going to make plays. We just can't panic. And credit to our kids and our seniors. They just stayed with it, didn't panic, and eventually we got it going.
Well, you talk about New Albany's defense. I was listening on the radio a little bit Saturday, running some errands around town, and you were down 17-0 when I got out of the car, and I thought, wow. And I went in and did what I had to do and came back out, and you were kind of making a run there at the end of the half and had cut it. I believe it was 33-26 at the half. But the thing I noticed was your defense, the Reitz defense, just the trap was working. It seemed New Albany just, was struggling to even get the ball across midcourt there for a while, and that had to be the turnaround in the game. What changed there? Was it just the intensity, or what changed where that started working?
Well, I think, our guys just put it in another gear. And I think, you talk about getting it to 7 before half. Actually, in the third quarter, we battled there, and then they had a run where they actually bumped it back up to 15. I mean, we were down 15 midway through the third quarter. And I think that stretch you're talking about there, our guys, I think we just cranked it up a little bit. And, we were able to get them to turn it over a couple times. And then I think we just fed on that.
Talking to Reitz Panthers head coach Mike Adams on the Menard Studio Hotline. It's Ford and O'Brien, ESPN Evansville 105.3. Online, ESPNEvansville.com. You get through that game, Coach, and then you sit and you wait a few hours to see who you're going to play in the night game, and you have a much better time. Really, as far as I can see and from what I know of the game, didn't struggle nearly as bad there in the second game to win the regional title. Was it a matter of you kind of got, maybe in your mind, you got all the issues out of the way in the first game, or was it just a matter of the guys kind of clicking together a little bit better there in the second game of the night?
Well, I think what we try to do as a coaching staff is use everything to our advantage, and we complimented certainly our guys on never giving up, never losing belief in themselves or each other, and just understanding it's a crazy game. We certainly don't want to get off to a bad start, but we've proven that we just got to keep our composure and it'll work out. And I think the second game, we just talked about, hey, let's not put ourselves behind the 8 ball. Let's get off to a good start. Let's play the way we can play. And to be honest, we were talking, Coach Hester and Coach Patton and Coach Schellenberg, Coach Kissel, we were talking, and we just felt really good about our approach when we took the floor. We had a feeling that we were going to come out and bring it from the get-go, and it was kind of nice for the guys to play well in that first quarter and build a lead and then just keep ourselves from them.
Well, Jalen Sanford stepped up both games. He had 16 in the second quarter, and that's in the morning game to basically put you guys back in the ball game. Finished with 27, had 20 in the nightcap. He's got a deal going on now that we need to let the people know about in case they don't know, and you'll know a little more about this than we do, I'm sure. But he's a finalist in a chance to be, if I've got it right, in a 3-point shooting competition that will happen in Final Four weekend in Indy, and you can vote online. Can you explain how the listeners can go and vote Jalen into this?
Well, I don't know if I give you specifics how to vote. I know my wife has voted for him every opportunity she's had, but it's a deal where they contacted me, and he was, obviously he's had here, and he's marked as a 3-point shooter. He was given the opportunity to compete for this, chance to go perform. And basically he had to make a little video highlight deal, and it's been out there, and fans are voting, and and thus far, I think he has a great chance of winning. I apologize, I don't know the specifics.
But we're going to find it. We'll have it by the end of this interview. We'll have it for the listeners. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, we appreciate the fans voting for Jalen, and obviously, Jalen would tell you this. We're more concerned about trying to beat Richmond right now, but down the road, that would be a really neat opportunity for him.
Well, I do know we have the link to that on our website, ESPNEvansville.com, so people can find it that way.
I didn't know it was up there.
I went in and voted for Jalen the other day, as a matter of fact.
Too.
So, so hopefully we can get him up there and give him an opportunity to shine on a national stage. Before we get into that Richmond game, Coach, and again, we're talking to Coach Mike Adams from Reitz High School as they get ready for a semi-state match against Richmond on Saturday. It's been, I'm sure, a heavy week, heavy hearts around the school. With the passing of Logan Brown. How's the team handling that, and what are you doing as a coach to help them kind of get through what has been obviously a very difficult time for everybody?
Well, I appreciate you mentioning that. It has been tough, and our leadership here at Reitz, they've done a great job of, and it really shows this West Side community what a family, and certainly our condolences to all the families that are affected by this. And we always talk about how we're a family as a team and as a program, and here's just another example of life and how tough it can be, and just how precious every day is, and to have the opportunity, to come together. And, our hearts are just heavy with what's going on, and I know our Beth Hagan, our athletic director, they've got some really neat shirts that we're selling in honor of those families. And our kids are going to wear those shirts as shooting shirts to warm up. But, I don't know what you can say. Just our prayers and thoughts, just a tough thing. And, this West Side community will support one another, and we'll get through it the best we can.
Now, are those shirts available to the public?
Here again, guys, you guys, I feel bad you've asked me a couple of questions. I don't have all the answers. I know people could call maybe. I know the athletic office took pre-orders, and I think all the ones they've sold up to this point were already accounted for. I'm not sure if they go to Imagination Graphics on Franklin Street. I'm just being told they would be able to still get those shirts. Okay. I think the ones that are here have already been paid for and called for.
All right.
Okay,
excellent.
so Imagination Graphics on Franklin is where they can grab those shirts. I know I'd heard about those where they were going to have the three young people's names on the back and whatnot.
Right,
so
right.
A great thing. So
well, let's get on to the semi-state game coming up this weekend, Coach. You guys win the regional title. Was the first for the school since 1968. How do you go about keeping the guys and the team kind of loose? And because obviously there's the further you get in, the harder this tournament gets, obviously, in order to win a state title. And it's been a long time since Reitz has made it this far, obviously. Is that weigh on the team at all? Do you talk about it at all? How do you keep the guys loose and just focused on what they need to do to advance to a state championship game?
No, I don't think, people say, well, how do you deal with pressure? Well, you deal with pressure by, doing your homework and preparing and believing in the system and what we're doing, and playing with confidence. And I think our guys obviously fit all those categories. But, we just we sat down after the regional. We had our celebration. We talked, and we said, look, we sat down man-to-man, eye to eye, and we talked about before our season even started, our goal was to win a state championship. And we haven't done that yet. So we've got to continue to be humble and hungry, and we've got to want it. I mean, at this level, obviously anybody can beat anybody. And I think the teams that are able to move on are, quite honestly, the teams that just want it more. And we talked about how we haven't accomplished our goal yet. So, we've got to refocus. We've got to have a great week of preparation, a great week of practice, and we've got to go up there with a mission.
Well, this Richmond team, what do they bring to the table? What have you seen on film, and what are they going to want to do that you can't let happen?
Well, obviously, as we talked, I mean, at this point in time, there's four of us left. They're all very capable. They're all very talented, very good, and Richmond certainly is very deserving. They are 26-3. I believe two of their losses were by only 1 point, and the other loss was early against a good Tech team there in Indy. So, very good record. and I've known Coach Luce for a long time. I know he's going to have them ready. I know he's a great coach, and they're going to be well prepared, bring a lot of toughness. But their team is really set up a lot like we are in that they're very guard-oriented. A lot of guys that are really good off the dribble, off the bounce. They're able to get paint touches and really kick it well. They shoot the three well. And just a lot of guards that are very, very skilled. So for us, obviously, we're going to have to really do a good job of staying in front of the basketball. We can't let guys dribble and get where they want. So I think first is just dribble containment, not making silly fouls. And then at the offensive end, they, too, will throw different pressures at us. Obviously, we got to handle the basketball ourselves. We got to make sure we don't have empty possessions and take care of it and take quality shots.
That's Coach Mike Adams from the Reitz Panthers joining us on the Menard Studio Hotline. Coach, best of luck to you this weekend, and hopefully we can schedule a time next week to talk about maybe playing for a state game. I don't want to get too far ahead. That's not your one game at a time. We get to look a little bit ahead. That's our job. But hopefully we can talk again next week. Best of luck against Richmond on Saturday.
Well, we appreciate all your support and coverage, and I'll tell you, I really hope we're talking next week as well.
I hope so, too. Best of luck, Coach. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.